Welcome to the first ever Headlight Hot Seat podcast. I am Per Peterson, editor and co-owner of the Tracy Area Headlight Herald and podcast aficionado, I guess. This week's first ever Headlight Hot Seat is brought to you by Cutting Edge Lawn Services. From lawn mowing, trimming, spring or fall yard cleanup, Ben can do it all. Check one more thing off your to-do list and have high-quality lawn service with one call. Call Ben today at 507-829-7235. Cutting Edge Lawn Services for all your lawn care needs. Having the privilege of being the very first person on our hot seat is Tracy City Administrator, Mr. Jeff Carpenter. Welcome, Jeff. And if the seat gets too warm, you can just let me know.
It's already feeling really warm already.
Yeah, it's heating up. We have a fire extinguisher if we need it. Just a short intro for Jeff. He has been our city administrator since 2023 after taking over from Eric Hansen. Jeff has proved to be a strong advocate for housing in Tracy, and the proof is literally out there. We'll talk more about that later. I know Jeff doesn't like talking about himself, and he normally gives credit to others before accepting it himself. But in my opinion, he has turned things around in a big way in town since taking over. So, let everyone know about Jeff Carpenter, Jeff.
Hello, I'm privileged to be here today. I think this is exciting for the city of Tracy. Again, my name is Jeff Carpenter. I've been the city administrator for 2 years, and then for 6 years before that, I was the economic development coordinator and community development coordinator. The 31 years before that, I was a member of the Schwann food team. I was employed with them since I was 19 years old, so all the way from 19 years old all the way to 50. So when I found my way back to Tracy. My wife is Sandy. We have 2 children, both adults, obviously. My daughter Ash is married, lives next to right outside of Marshall, and she has 3 children. I got 3 granddaughters, Scarlett, Adeline, and Lily. And she is a school teacher with my wife at RTR Schools. And then my son, Eric, is a engineer for the stadium in Las Vegas. He works for the Raiders. Still a Vikings fan, but he works for the Raiders. I guess how we got to Tracy is we moved around the country with Schwann's, and in 1992, 1993, we found a house in Tracy that we wanted to buy, which would have been what some of you would have known as the Burdan House, who were the ones who built it. And then it was owned after that by the Jacobson family, and then it was the Carpenter family. So now there's a new family in there, but there was, in that 1888 house, there was only three owners to it. So we fixed that house up a couple times, or Sandy, my wife, did. I was gone at work a lot with Schwann's. But we moved here in 93. We're vested in the community for well over 20 years before we built a house on Lake Benton. And then I found my way back to Tracy as the EDA director, and then now the city administrator. So I have about a 38-minute drive every day coming over here.
That's got to be, I used to commute when I worked at the Independent in Marshall. That was only 20 minutes. What's that drive like for you?
Yeah, it's easy. It's really easy. It's, and everybody's pretty easy to get along with, especially with the city council, and they know that all of a sudden if it's bad weather on Highway 14, they're probably not going to see me, but I normally in the wintertime bring my laptop home every night. So there's nothing wrong or nothing against me being able to work right there from home. And if it's a blizzard there, it's probably going to be a blizzard here also. So everything kind of slows down a little bit with bad weather.
Talk a little bit about, I did a story a couple years ago on Eric and the exciting job he had. I mean, I was jealous when you told me about when he landed the gig with the Raiders, but how is he liking that? He's going to just love it.
Well, he does. He was played a lot of sports here in Tracy. Both of my kids played a lot of sports here in Tracy, went to school here all the way from kindergarten all the way and graduated here. But with Eric, he went and tried to get it, or he tried. He went to get an engineering degree at the School of Mines in South Dakota for 2 years, and decided he wanted to be a political science major for some reason. So after seeing that wasn't going to get him a long way with political science, and he had all the way through college had worked for the Gophers hockey team, basketball team, men's and women's football team, and from there he kind of just stuck with what he was doing. He stuck with the program. So that's kind of some advice out there. You don't have to go into the profession that you have a degree in. Where he just stuck with it. He worked for the Big Ten Network in Chicago for a year. He was at the Minnesota Timberwolves for a while. He worked for the Gophers for a few years, and then he got an opportunity to work or move to help them set up the new stadium in Las Vegas. It's been a kind of a dream job for him, working and seeing all the sports that go on out there and all the concerts and everything that he helps with the sound and video of the engineering part of that stadium. It's the busiest stadium in the world.
I assume you've been there?
I've been there a lot of times. Yep, yep. He has some perks of getting some tickets. So the Vikings played there a couple times, and we've seen them. And this year we're planning on, I believe, gonna try to get out there when the Chiefs play the Raiders. He's gotten some very good tickets to some concerts and things like that. And we enjoy Las Vegas not just because he's there, but we
Do you like to gamble?
no, we don't gamble at all, hardly, as a matter of fact. But there's a lot of sights to see in Las Vegas, and so we enjoy going out there. So he might have an opportunity of going a couple more places here in the next few years, but I think his ultimate goal would be to possibly get back here and maybe even work for the Vikings, because he is a Vikings fan. So all my daughter, my son, and myself all have the same tattoo that is of the outline of the state of Minnesota with a Viking in the middle. Eric designed it himself, and when we were at Sandy's family in Kansas here about 5 or 6 months ago, I agreed to get a tattoo. I'd never got one before. I will never get one again. And but we all have the same tattoo of the outline of Minnesota with a Viking in the middle.
That's something no one in Tracy knows. I bet that Jeff Carpenter, our city administrator, has a tat.
Yes, on my leg, and a lot of people probably seen it when I was wearing shorts when I was helping out at the Central Park assembly of the new park equipment out there. So that was probably one of the first times anybody had really seen that. Yeah, that's the only one you're going to see on me. I can tell you that.
We're not going to see a little tear.
No, you're not going to see teardrops. You're not going to see anything on my arms, anything on the leg, and it hurt. As far as I'm concerned, it was miserable, and I don't want to do it again.
I've never had one. I don't plan on it because I know it's painful.
Yep.
I don't like pain.
Yep.
Okay, well, let's get to the pressing questions. Central Park.
Yep.
Everybody knows the park is taking on a new look and a new feel. You drive by it, it's like a big city park.
It is.
I would say it's even bigger than any, or better than any park in Marshall.
I would say so also. It's surprising. You have to drive by it to really comprehend how big it is. I mean, the one tower is 30 feet high. And it's, and we shrunk the area down a little bit because we were limited in the amount of area we could use because of the bathrooms there, the band shell, where we want to, keep the ice rink and everything. But it's going to be there's a lot of cities that would die to be able to put in a $250,000, which was needed in Central Park, but a $250,000 new facility there.
Yeah. It's amazing. When the hole was dug, not the hole, but the footprint, I thought to myself, oh, doesn't look like much. Then once the first piece of equipment went in, it just blew me away because I tried to just take it all in and then visualize what it's like. That's when the pieces were sitting in plastic bags or whatever. But the volunteer help, this couldn't have been done without. And we don't want to get into names right now. We went over this at the city council meeting because you don't want to forget anyone. But just talk about that a little bit about from Shane and the city crew to the girls at the bank.
Yeah.
Out loud. I mean, everyone.
Yeah. It was a group effort. I mean, and you did a nice job of putting the article in the paper on how much it takes to to put it together. And I think the what was the name of the article? Takes a village, or it takes a
Calling all
community.
volunteers.
Yeah, and it was so it was.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely right. The amount of people that came out there, and we'd had probably more help with the number of people that are coming by and watching. But there was at times where we were maybe even a little overstaffed because we were a little bit short on direction, is what we were when it came down to it.
Well, there
It's
were even kids out there.
oh yeah, yeah. We
Kids,
had
boy,
yep,
and
yep.
the other
Peyton.
Peyton.
Yep. Everybody had to sign off on anybody that didn't work for the city had to sign off a waiver, but no incidents occurred. It was, except Chief Lichty did slip and in the mud a little bit and fall, and if we'd have got pictures of that, I would have shared that with everybody also.
Definitely. I hope that not only kids but parents appreciate this park now even more. And I pray to God there's no vandalism out there, because I think some people have talked about that before. Like, I think I talked to Diane about that once. Like, God, some kid goes up and starts spray painting it, or it's a
Well,
minor worry.
I will tell you they will be on camera from every angle.
Okay.
And these aren't cameras that you're going to be able to see either. We've already got a lot of cameras in the park that we've gotten a lot of footage of things that have happened there before and addressed them. But this one in particular, with spending this kind of money, if you throw all the volunteers, the hours, the labor and everything, else that goes along with the equipment itself, it's around $250,000. So
You wish you wouldn't have to put cameras up, but
Yep.
it's the world we live in.
Right.
I guess you never know. Yeah, it's a great project, and the park board should be commended for their diligence, as well as the city.
Yep. Just to go along with that, if you really look at that, we have a park board, which I've kind of not allowed. It was actually something that was pretty easy to have. Diane Campbell is being kind of the head of that board. She's not officially on the board. She's not listed anywhere, but she is the organization. She is the head of it. She's the one that works the hardest on it, and she doesn't take any of her time away from the city of Tracy. She's doing it. She's got so much heart built up for the city of Tracy that I think she really enjoys doing it. So
Yeah, she was very much a champion
Yep.
in this project. Next, the new homes in Tracy.
sure.
It's great to have those out there. They look wonderful, especially the ones on Front Street. Well, they all look great. I was curious as to, and maybe even something I could ask Tom. The worry, there was a little bit concern about, we got to get these sold, and now they're still, to my knowledge, not sold yet. Is that frustrating for you, or because we want to fill these and then move on and do more, but you really can't do more until you fill them?
It would have been nice to have them completely done. They just got done not too long ago with the cabinets. In fact, I think there's the one doesn't even have the cabinets in it yet. So
Would
it's
that be the Second Street?
that'd be the well, Second Street, yes, that one that's owned by the city.
Yeah.
That one doesn't have cabinets.
Okay.
It's still got some work to do. Carl from the high school and all the kids out there in that program did a fantastic job with that place out there. But we're still getting that finished up with the cabinets and with some sheetrock and some cement that needs to be done out there. So it's taken more time than and we've gotten some discussion from people or questions about, oh, we got all this money tied up in that. It's an asset. We own a brand new house, and people need to realize that we got a tremendous amount of money from the county. The county had some housing money that they wanted to use, so we got it was $100,000. So when we sell that house for, I don't know, I'm just gonna guess 350,000, whatever I don't know yet. But right around there, that's a part of the housing money that we had. So everything will go right back into our housing to start a new housing project. And Tom and I and the city council and a couple of the EDA members, we really discussed what we want to do next.
That was my next question. You're not going to stop that process just because we're not filling the
No,
houses right now, are you?
no. The two on Front Street, we got to get those sold. There's a realtor that's from Marshall that's involved in that. We got to get those sold, and I think there's some serious lookers right now. But if we could get them, I think UCAP would possibly let us build another one. That's more than anything else. If you call it frustrating, if we could have sold them right away, I believe we could have given them another lot and they'd have made another one right away. But then, and we'd been working on this with the school for the Second Street property. That was started, a couple of years ago. And then Tom's done a fantastic job of being not the general contractor, because Shane's really the general contractor, and Clay. But the fact is Tom has kept track of it and walked that project through from start to, we're pretty close to being finished now.
Those are beautiful homes. I mean, I drive by and I'm like, I'd like to go in one
Yep.
of those.
Yep.
Because I can't right now.
Yep.
But,
But it's all three of them. I mean, the one that we have that the city owns is going to be available to have 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms, and it's going to be, I think it's probably like 2,800 square feet total. So a bigger house in a nice area of town, out near the hospital and nursing home and out in that area. And of course, the front street is just kind of a new housing area that's got some beautiful houses out there, all that were built in the last, a few of them at least have been built in the last 7 or 8 years. So.
Speaking of that area, Broadacres, any update on that still empty lot?
Yep,
Or-
nothing that's been looked at a number of times, but no, nothing for sure. So we have the one single family home that I think they're ready to move into now, and then the 2 twin homes that we were out there that we got sold immediately. Yep, and then also the one that Dale Johnson Construction built down by the hospital, that sold right away too, and has people in it. So
Moving on to cleaning up Tracy, and I know this has been a sticking point, and it probably is for a lot of towns. Where are we at with that, and are we moving forward good? I know during past city council meetings, there's been a lot of kind of good feedback, positive feedback from.
we've gotten a lot more good feedback than we've had. I'll call it bad feedback. There's been, we've ruffled some feathers, but I think that coming from my chair, it's something that needs to be done, and I try to take as much of that heat as I can. But it's just that we want this. It's not just what your yard looks like; it's what your yard looking like it does, what it does to the value of other homes, and that's what we're looking at more than anything else. And we've put an emphasis on it, and we will again in 2026 again. Right now, we had a $50,000 budget, and we've used about 23,000 of that money so far, and we've got 2 houses left on our list for sure for this year.
Okay.
And just 2 right now. I mean, we would possibly do more. We're being held up a little bit now by them particular houses are being held by the state and the county because they own them because of lack of taxes being paid.
Right.
So we're trying to get those 2, and then and we took a little turn, which a lot of people in Tracy that listen to this when they come back for Boxcar Days, the old trailer at the end of Second Street, right on South Street, that was been there for 60 years. In fact, there was some people, Denny Foltz had told me that used to be a place where I can't think of the name, but somebody used to trim dogs and cats and
A groomer?
a groomer that was there in that trailer house. So now we took that trailer house out of there. There's a semi-trailer that's been sitting there forever in the back.
Is that gone now?
It's not gone yet, but I understand that there's a couple different parties that want that trailer. So now they're deciding who gets it and where it goes. But so
The highest bidder.
well, to us it isn't ours. It's to
Okay.
the guy, the company Lyle Newman, who's tearing that or tore down the trailer house or moved it out of here.
That's his?
Yes, that's
Okay.
that's all his right now. He took care of all that, so he's looking at possibly selling that to somebody. But once we get that out of there, that's just going to be a new look back there. I mean, without having that dilapidated trailer, it's been there for, I mean, again, 60 years, but I don't know if it was ever lived in since we moved to town, since Sandy and I moved to town in 92, 93. I don't think so. I don't know.
remember. I was born and raised here,
But-
and I don't remember any traffic.
Yeah.
nothing going on
Yep.
there.
So there's weeds and they were growing up, and now that's all
Eyesore.
getting pushed together. And so Boxcar Days, yeah, I think that's going to be well noticed on South Street that is gone. So we didn't have that on our list. So we had the opportunity. We had a citizen that wanted to sold it to us for little of nothing,
Yeah.
because that person is wanting the city of Tracy also to get cleaned up. He sold it to the city, and we will. And then we actually paid hardly any money to get that taken care of. So that's why we're sitting at about 23,000 of our 50,000 used out of our budget for 25.
When it comes to blight, and it's got to be difficult to send these letters out to residents and give them a timeline, so to speak. How do you deal with that? The human side of you, the empathy that you feel for them, and getting something done. I mean, you can put your foot down so many times, but you don't want to hurt people's feelings or offend them. And sometimes you probably get some negative feedback from them, like real.
Sure.
That makes you say, well, forget this, we're doing this. But most of the time I would assume it's like, like the lady at the city council meeting, I can't do this.
Yeah.
Physically, I can't do this.
Yep.
Financially, I can't do
Yep.
this. It's got to be a tough balancing
Well,
act.
first and foremost, we treat everybody within the city of Tracy equally. I mean, I don't care if it's a $500,000 house or if it's a $50,000 house. Everybody gets treated equally. So we put that group together, which is of Clay, Shane, Chief Lichty, and I, and Tom Dobson, and we get together, and we've met in the past. Well, we've met a few times last year getting set up for 2025. And then we've met for sure every 6 weeks where we have updates and, a few things arise that we possibly want to do. The trailer house, all of a sudden, Chief Lichty came in and said, hey, I think we can get our hands on that property on South Street. And so we put that as a top priority. We moved it right to the front of the list. We knew it wasn't going to cost us very much money.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to the letters and to the phone calls and to the visits, no, we don't treat anybody differently. We have a set standard of what things need to look at, but we also have empathy too. We know
You should.
it's tough sometimes when things have looked like that for a long time. So you need to be working on those items, but we're not asking for the world either. I mean, we've had people that have called and said, "Hey, my mom's in the nursing home, and we're not, as a family, we're not doing anything with that house until so and so, or until this such a time," and we're understanding with that, and we take the notes on it. We have a spreadsheet that we have that has everybody's address and what's been done with it, and we have a group that goes around and checks those as we go through there, and we've made a lot of progress with those also. I mean, but again, I just want everybody to know that we're not treating anybody any differently
There's
than
no
anybody
hierarchy
else.
here.
Yes, no, we're going all around town. Are we missing some things every once in a while? Trust me, we are missing some things every once in a while because we get plenty of phone calls from other citizens going, "Have you seen this house before? Or have you seen this
God, I
house?"
bet.
But then sometimes that doesn't match what we have on our list.
Yeah.
So, but we listen to everybody and we do the best we can. But this is a marathon.
Yep. It is
And
not
we
a sprint.
plan. We just talked about it today with the financial person Tyler here in the city on what we're going to put into this as a budget for this coming year. So we already know that.
If I remember, it was a couple months ago that Tom had given an update that the railroad crossing on Center Street would be addressed in July. Well, the clock is ticking on July. Have you heard anything, any new news from the railroad about,
Well,
are they going to get here this month?
I should check my phone because he was on a call today at 1:00. So I can give you a little bit of an update. Project is good to go mid-August, intending completion
August.
prior to the start of school.
And that was the main thing, I think. We wanted
Yep.
it done before.
Oh yeah,
school
well,
started.
it's if you go across that, and if you, I went across it because I took a lot of the garbage out from the assembly of the playground sets down at Central Park. So there was a couple times that I had somebody with me, and I was of course talking, and went across that at 30 miles an hour. And it was a rude reminder of how bad those tracks are.
And then you went to the auto shop and said, I need
Yeah,
my
well, I was driving a city vehicle,
new
which didn't
axle.
help
Oh.
things, and it was full in the back of wood.
Ugh.
But it's also right now, I can tell you, we have the county involved because that's a county road too. So there's going to be some street work on the approach to those railroad tracks and past those railroad tracks.
Asphalt.
But I'm not going to let anybody off on this. I'm in the railroad. I will tell you that this was a discussion before I got here in 2017.
Oh, it was.
And it was a discussion.
17?
Yep. And
That's when I got here.
It was a discussion from myself, and it's almost like from the railroad. There's so many people that work there. You talk to this person once, and you talk to this person the next time. It was never seemed to be a priority for the new person you were talking to.
Oh.
And Tom now he kind of took it on here about 5-6 months ago, and he stayed on it. So
He's hounding them a
yes,
little bit.
he makes the same phone calls with the same people, and then
Probably sick
also
of hearing from him,
yep,
which is good.
yep, and then also we've had a couple other ones too where Shane has talked to a couple of the people that do the lawn mowing and.
Well, didn't they say once that the more complaints or calls they get, we go up the priority list a little bit?
Yes. Well, that was it. Was well, what it was is I think my efforts went nowhere, and then it was always we're going to get to it. Yes, we know about it. That type of thing.
And you believed them.
And well, that's kind of what it was. Is okay. Well, we need to get this done, and then all of a sudden, about a year ago, still nothing had been done, and then we got this kind of strange message. Well, we hadn't heard anything about that crossing.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Right.
obviously you're not talking to the right people within your company. So it took somebody that to be a priority, and that's my fault for dropping the ball and not keeping it a priority and waiting for it to get done. Because as you know, if you want to get something done, you got to stay on top of it. Just like cleaning up Tracy, you got to stay on top of it. So.
For sure. We would be remiss if we wouldn't bring in a community center update.
Sure.
The city bought the building, I believe it was last December.
Yeah, was December, I suppose? Yep.
Yeah. Haven't heard much yet or since then. And I
So-
haven't written about anything because I
Yep.
haven't heard
Well,
anything.
you will because you're getting invited to a meeting next Tuesday at noon at the city office.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
So that's the next piece of the. That's the next piece of it. There's going to be a civil engineer. There's going to be a building engineer there, plus the engineer Bollock who we're working with on that whole thing. So that's going to be the second meeting that we've had. You'll see that invitation coming, and what that is going to be is we have kind of what it going to look like. We want to know what's going to be in it. We expanded on our group of community center group. I guess you could, we expanded on that group. We had Dave Dieter that said he would be on there, and we're also trying to work with some things with him with the American Legion. Mary Squires has joined that as somebody at her age group.
Yeah.
To be a part of it, and Lexi Erickson also has joined that group.
Another.
Yep,
not
another. Yeah, I
generation,
would
but-
say 30s and 40s. I better be careful. I
know.
a little careful. on
Same,
that.
same with me.
Yeah.
Same with me.
So it's so they're going to be. It's just a little bit better perspective and kind of what we want to put into it, and we have a general knowledge of what we are going to do to it. We know what our budget is. We are still waiting for the word that we can start using that huge grant that Val had gotten
right.
from the federal government. Supposedly everything is going just fine with that. We had enough money, or they had raised enough money to do something without that huge amount, but it wasn't not going to be near what we're going to have with this. This is going to be a little bit of a high tech. We're going to be putting
It has to be.
through the grant. It has to be. Yes, I'm sorry, and thank you for saying that, because everybody, you're going to get some naysayers. Well, why did we put so much into technology and everything? Well, that's what we got this $500,000 grant for, is because we put in there that we'd put in just about $50,000 in technology.
Oof.
And so.
Oh yeah, technology is not cheap.
Yes, yeah. Well, that's with computers. Possible. What is that? Where you have the ability in your own little room, if to talk to somebody maybe in Sioux Falls at Sanford in Sioux Falls.
Oh, like telemedicine.
Telemedicine, telehealth. Yep.
Okay.
So we're gonna possibly try to have that ability to do that, and then there'll be a security system. There'll be some, what are those things that are pulled down, screens on the wall
Okay.
that we're going to be able to have any kind of videos or have Teams meetings. There's going to be all kinds of things. Just besides the that was one of the things is, well, that's all we're going to do is play cards. No, that's
I
not.
hate it when people said that.
That's not what
God, that
we're
bugged
going
me.
to do. I mean, that might be all we have right now, but we've already expanded into with Ace out of Marshall with Jan Arzavu. I mean, she's done a fantastic job. The group of bone builders, that's gotten so big, we might end up keeping that at the VMC.
Yeah.
But the number of things that we have ideas of what we can do in that building over there, I think it's going to expand when we have that ribbon cutting and you can't hold me to it, but I would like to see that ribbon cutting.
I was going to ask you, when is the ribbon cutting?
I think February or March 1st is when I would like to have that.
Of 06?
Yep.
Or 26?
Of 26, yep. So that's not very far away.
No.
It's been a long road.
Oh,
Oh my
it's been a
gosh.
long, bumpy more than long. Well,
Yep.
both. But we're talking about, 2020, this started
Yep.
with Mr. Hansen and the myriad meetings and the focus groups and the debate and the back and forth and maybe we got a little momentum and then it kind of slows down again. It has to have been so frustrating for you and
Well,
anyone involved.
It's split on not completely on the council, but there's been some tough remarks but it's everybody's stuck to their guns, and now I think that once this comes, it's going to be a wow, that was well worth the work. I mean, and you got to think right now, not a dime is coming out of any taxpayers'
Taxpayers.
numbers.
Yeah.
And even with what they agreed to pay or what the city council's still in charge of everything. So everything goes through them. So even what they have put out there as this is the amount we would like you to hold to for the total amount due here, that's what we're working towards right now. That'll even not even be with the $134,000 that the city did in a resolution back in 2020 to put towards this project.
Yeah.
So we're probably, planning on using that maybe for, maybe some, not really upkeep because there won't be a lot of that right away, but, possibly putting in some programming in there and just things that we won't, things that will come up that we, are unexpected.
I think the taxpayer thing is a big piece of this because, and Jerry at the council meetings said it repeatedly. We're not doing this if this is going to affect taxpayers. And true to her word and your word and the city's word, like you just said, we're not on the hook for this. The
Nope, nothing,
taxpayers at all.
nothing. Even in the past since December, the utilities and anything else that have come through that have gone right to where they needed to be, which is a community center fund.
Yeah.
Tyler has done Twistle has done a fantastic job of keeping all my projects separated. And
you have a lot of people making you look good. We talk about Tyler, and you're not notorious. You're famous for spreading credit, but it's true. Tyler, in the financial piece, Val writing grants, Shane and all he does.
Yeah.
I mean,
Diane.
you got a good team.
Yep.
And,
Krista and Stacy do such a fantastic job, and with anything we ask of them, and Shane's group, not just with the putting together a lot of the equipment down at Central Park, but with a small group of people, they get a lot done.
So you're kind of like you're the coach of a team, and you're only as good as your team. Like Kevin O'Connell wins Coach of the Year. Well, he didn't throw those passes or make those tackles, and you deserve credit too. But the team aspect is really nice to see, especially in a small town. You need it.
Yeah, I was told early in my management career, back in when I was 26 years old and a very young, inexperienced, young and dumb, person, that was had a, high profile job with Schwann's, being in Marshall there, and I had a guy that kind of mentored me. He always said that hire people that are better than you because they'll make you look better than you really are. And I've lived that for the last now 38 years, 40 years.
So now you're old and dumb?
Yes, old and dumb now.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, that sounds, You're not that old. Some gray hairs, but Tracy's lucky to have you as well as the whole team that surrounds you. And You are now off the hot seat. Thank you so much, Jeff.